Cycling from Paris to Istanbul is an amazing achievement in anyone's books. But to do it with cystic fibrosis and less than 50% lung capacity makes it even more special. Walter van Praag joins us to share his story. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Susie.
Now, I'll ask the obvious question, why?
I wanted a different holiday, and we walked into the bike shop and saw a brochure for the Paris to Istanbul bike ride organised. So we thought that'd be fun. But when my doctor heard about it, the plans, he said, you should be doing that for cystic fibrosis awareness. One thing led to another, and forget about the holiday, it was a big awareness project, which was a lot of fun too.
Good to hear. Now, 72 days, 3,495 kilometres.
4,395.
Oh, there you go.
So
oh,
I remember
really?
every one of them.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. How did you feel at the end of it?
Well, I know that myself and at least one other person just about cried. That was awesome.
Oh, my, incredible. We're looking at some of the footage now. What challenges did you face along the way?
We had a lot of challenges. Initially, when we landed, it all started with not having our luggage. That was like Heathrow's in the news now, and the excuse today is Terminal 5, but we went through Terminal 3 and we lost our luggage. We had to buy a lot of gear because we never got our luggage again, and that included cycling gear, camping gear. Fortunately, the bikes were given to us by a Dutch company in Holland, Batavus, and that was a big challenge, having to replace it and thinking, are we going to get our luggage back?
Did you ever get your luggage back?
It ended up back in Tasmania.
Oh, goodness.
So we did get it back.
Now, you were diagnosed at the age of 10 with cystic fibrosis. What is it?
Cystic fibrosis is a genetic condition which causes your body to be different than a normal person. Bacteria that don't affect you go into my lungs. That makes it very difficult in public transport and crowded places, offices, recycled air, planes. And I tend to be on antibiotics most of the time, especially when I go to those places. I'm on antibiotics now just to fly and be on trains. And the lungs and the infection in lungs is the biggest issue. Then there's also digestion, and in my case, insulin and a few other little complications. And it is you inherit it from your parents. Yeah.
Now, you've outlived your prognosis, haven't you?
Well and truly. When I was 10 and diagnosed, they said I wouldn't live out my teens. But fortunately, my parents kept that from me and treated me like a normal child. And even today, when you're born with cystic fibrosis, the expected age is about 35. So I'm still on the wrong side of the bell curve, even from that perspective. But I'm having fun. Us people with disabilities can do certain things, and the thing is you need to do the things you can do, and for me that is sport. It's what I have to do.
You've also, well, you're in the process of writing a book and also trying to raise money to put together a documentary, because you actually shot your ride, your Paris to Istanbul ride, but obviously that's going to take some money.
Yeah, don't talk to me about that. And it has been very difficult. For the ride itself, we had a lot of fundraising, and a lot of Tasmanian people helped us getting some funding together, which looked after accommodation on rainy days and hotels in the cities. We got a lot of funding for the ride itself, although most of us in the team were self-funded. Now we realise that the post-production, putting the documentary together, the book, and there's a children's book with illustrations that, yeah, we're definitely hurting at the moment. But it's all going to be worthwhile. Oh,
I'm sure it will, and I'm sure some people watching will also want to support, and we'll give them details of how they can do that. Funniest moments on the trip?
Funniest moments is when the cameraman who came with us admitted in Paris, when he was given his bike, that he couldn't really ride his bicycle.
Oops.
Yeah. He was young and fit and strong, and he picked up, he had a few scrapes and bruises, and we all had a good laugh. He got there and he did extremely well. He cycled circles around me by the time we got to Istanbul.
Oh, really? And have you got something else that you've got in mind now? Have you set a benchmark of somewhere else you want to do?
Given that we provide a lot of inspiration, which we hope by putting the documentary on TV eventually, and raising plenty of money for cystic fibrosis research, we hope to be sailing around the world in 2010, and that'll be called Coughing in the Sails. But that is still a seed.
Okay, well, I'm sure, knowing you and your determination, you will succeed, because your whole thing is coughing the distance, and there's a reason for you calling it that, isn't there?
It's when I do any kind of exercise, I cough. When I wake up, I cough. When I go to bed, I cough. And there's a lot of infection in my lungs, and that needs to be controlled, and you need to get rid of all the sputum and phlegm that builds up. And it's nasty business, but I do a lot of coughing and spitting, and it's a good thing I live in Tasmania where nobody looks at me so much.
Walter, you are an inspiration. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, and all the very best.
Thank you very much, Susie.
And if you would like to support Walter in any way, details about his upcoming book and his documentary are on our website with a direct link to his. Now, have a look at this.